Hello, you are watching the latest edition of DBE TV News. You can watch the bulletin every Friday on the DBE TV channel 122 on OpenView at 12 in the afternoon and on the Department of Basic Education's YouTube channel. Do remember to share this link with your friends, family, and those in your circles. Welcome. I am Tshegohatso Moagi. In our top stories this week, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga commemorates Mandela Day in the Sedibeng district in Gauteng. Meanwhile, Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi has opened the Tembisa School of Specialization in Entrepreneurship and Commerce. Phase 2 of the Anglo-American Educational Program has officially been launched. And the KwaZulu-Natal Education Department has launched its 100 days to the National Senior Certificate Examinations. Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga has urged the youth to move forward from where Nelson Mandela left off. Motshekga was part of the Mandela Month commemorations at Jet Nteyo High School in Buipatong and Emmanuel Primary in Sharpeville in the Sedibeng district. The Mandela Month commemoration event forms part of the ministerial roadshows aimed at providing timely interventions to challenges faced by schools. Each school received a donation of gardening equipment by Nestle and fertilizers by Greener Pastures, including a 20,000 Rand donation by MIET Africa to help schools with winter essentials. Every year, the department engages in commemorative activities to highlight national days, historic anniversaries, and significant events.
When we take time during the July month, it's not anything light. It's not anything light. It's something very serious, something very deep, that we have to honor those who came before us, and in our little corners acknowledge that which they sacrificed their lives for will make real. Because if as Black African kids, that sacrifice they did for us was
She went on to remind the young people that what they need to do now is to learn, be respectful to all, and ensure that they do well.
All we ask from you as children, you don't say Tamandlo, so kuqikiwe ntwa ilwanwe ntwa essence ke a lona re le ithute bana ba ka le itshware hantle le hlomphe le ikokobetse le tswele pele atlehe ke yona fela ntwe re batla mo re batle se sengata ke kuqikiwe so ke ba bona ba iketsa ba hali principal ke re ha iketsa mahali your peacetime heroes ke nako ya khotso ke nako ya khotso jwale se setseng go re le bala ke le sebetse ka matla le hlomphe le itlhomphe le lona le hlomphe matitjhere le ikokobetse ka dinako tsohle o ba se seng bo mandese ba le titse sona tse ngata ho setse ho lona fela.
Staying in Gauteng, the Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi has officially launched the Tembisa School of Specialization in Commerce and Entrepreneurship. This is the 28th School of Specialization launched by the Provincial Education Department. This is in a bid to nurture talent in South Africa across key disciplines and developing the future generation of leaders. The Tembisa School of Specialization is the first entrepreneurship school in the Ekurhuleni municipality, with the main focus in tourism and hospitality.
Specialize in tourism, you are going to specialize in hospitality, but most importantly, you are going to create jobs for South Africans. We want you to be the future, Badonaba. Gone are the days where all schools are doing the same thing in our townships. Gone are the days where if we don't have a science teacher, we all suffer. Gone are the days where we are going to produce learners that are not going to be absorbed by the economy. I'm excited. There are many companies that are going to be introduced here who are saying during your school holidays, anisadlali ngetopo, anisadlali nge-ali, anisaye mall no plumber. During your holidays, they will take you and train you and pay you during your holidays so that you can.
Lesufi has urged learners and the community to protect the school to ensure learners can learn more and be employed in various companies.
So, I wish you well. There is a lot of investment. We are building a mini hotel in your own school. We are bringing lots and lots of equipment in your own school. Please protect them. All the things that we are bringing in this school, we are bringing them for you. Protect them. Don't destroy the things that we are going to bring here. The investors and the companies that are coming here, they will not love it if they bring something here and then it's stolen. It will take us backwards. Some of the machines that are going to be installed here are machines that are not even available in some of the hotels, because we want them to start here so that you learn about them so that you can be employed in those companies. That's what I want to know.
To this now, Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga has thanked mining giant Anglo-American for the investment it has made to the sector. Anglo-American and the department have launched a holistic education program to improve learners' outcomes in schools local to Anglo-American's operations in South Africa. The Anglo-American Education Program, part of the company's Sustainable Mining Plan, will focus on a new cohort of 80 early childhood development sites and 84 selected primary and secondary schools. Developed together with the Department of Basic Education, the education program complements the department's action plan towards the realization of Schooling 2030, which details strategies that aim to improve the performance of South Africa's schooling system.
Responding to the needs and priorities of our communities. Clearly, improving the educational outcomes for our children is fundamental to addressing unemployment, inequality, and poverty, and it has become the most, or at least one of the most urgent priorities. Today, we are celebrating a national success that was born through a collaboration with Minister Motshekga and her team at the Department of Basic Education. In 2017, when Anglo-American celebrated its centenary in South Africa, we wanted to remember this milestone by establishing a legacy project for South Africa. And as we have heard, we incubated and pledged and committed 500 million rands towards this legacy project.
Minister Angie Motshekga says such partnerships make lasting differences in children's lives.
And in our journey, we believe that we have to continue through innovative partnerships that we have, like in yourselves. And the partnership with Anglo is a tangible example of what can be achieved when business and government partner to make a lasting difference in our children's lives. And the continuation of your program, which is an impactful education program, it really makes your company, and I must say, one of the most significant private sector contribution to South Africa's basic education system. It's not small, it's big. And for that, we are humbled, and for that, we are very grateful. And indeed, it is something we can all be proud of. And I believe that we must not lose sight of the fact that our collective endeavors as a society are to right the wrongs of the past through healing the festering wounds of underdevelopment, poverty, and neglect. We must continue to work without ceasing to free the potential of each child in our homeland.
When we return, We are in KZN as the Provincial Education Department launched 100 days to the National Senior Certificate Examinations.
To the Second Chance Matrics class of 2021, you are not alone. We are with you. We have prepared a revision program that is there to assist you fill in any gaps that you might be having, clarify any concepts that you might be confused on. Make sure that you do catch it on DBE TV channel 122. Check out our social media platforms for more information and some links to great resources that are there to also assist you. All the best.
The KwaZulu-Natal Education Department has encouraged the matric class of 2022 to continue to work hard ahead of their National Senior Certificate Examinations. On the 22nd of July, the province marked exactly 100 days before the examinations begin. The purpose of the event was to raise awareness amongst members of society, especially learners and educators, that everyone must work diligently in order to enhance the performance of the class of 2022 in the province. Gogo Maduna, a retired teacher who turned 100 years this year, was also part of the event. The Provincial Education Department says they will continue to put measures in place to ensure all grades perform well.
Indeed, it's an honor for us to be here today, marking the milestone of 100 days before our grade 12 learners sit for the 2022 National Senior Certificate. I need from the onset to make mention of the fact that as the Department of Education in KwaZulu-Natal, we always work towards the improvement of education outcomes in all grades, not just grade 12. That you can see with our intervention programs, which involve all grades from grade R up to grade 12. But of course, we've recently been entrusted with the learners from 1 to 4 years old who are in our city centers. But grade 12 becomes the center of focus because, as Dr. Mteng was saying, the outcome becomes a parameter through which our performance as a province is judged. We are here, program directors, to heighten the consciousness of our learners and to agitate them to work even harder, as says Ubela Sangusha,
The HOD went on to encourage learners to work hard as they are the future of the country.
The nation has entrusted in our hands to guide you so that you are in a position to participate in the economy of today and the economy of the future in particular. And so that you take over this country and run it at some point in the best way you can, having been prepared by us today for those positions that are going to hold in the future. It's such all of you who are the class of 2022.
The Basic Education Department has urged the class of 2022 to aim to get 100% in all their exams.
There are always 2 or 3 things or 4 things that you must do to make sure that you get 100%, because 100% does not come to you, you go to it. It's an active process of working hard for what you want to achieve. The first thing that my Director General always says is that you need to take care of each other. Be your brother, be your sister's keeper. You know why? Because if there's 40 of you or there's 50 of you that have been registered to write the NSC exams, and one of you does not pass or one of you does not write, you are not going to get 100%. So your 100% target is messed up immediately. So it means everything. We need to always work out until we take care of each other. You ask you need to know where your classmate is. It's very important. But it's also very important that we try as much as possible to stay out of trouble. Avoid risky behavior. Yeah. You should have been doing that already from January, but now that we're here, 100 days to go, you don't have much time, but to do as much as possible to stay focused.
He went on to give more tips for learners to achieve good marks in their exams, including avoiding disruptions such as social media and watching television.
You need to form ambassador groups. I know someone will say, no, it doesn't work for me, but it will help you. In your group, I don't care how many you are, there is always someone who understands things better than you. There's always someone who got to hear better something that you didn't hear, so you'll be able to help each other. So it's very important to work in groups. That will help you. But the third thing is that you need to try and use, in fact, you want to it is very easy to prepare for the exam, and I'm saying this because you have to, if it was in somebody else's past. One we say, maybe Pablo if you use past question papers, that's the secret. Because the exam, maybe you have not heard this before, the exam itself does not change. The questions remain exactly the same as they've been asked in the past 3 to 5 years. It's exactly the same. There's something called basket. All they do is to go there, grab questions, so if you use for your revision the past question papers 3 to 5 years, you're going to pass. It's as simple as that. That's why I'm saying work in groups, try and revise as a group. It will help you.
Gogo Maduna, who turned 100 years this month, began her teaching career in 1939. She has also encouraged the matric class of 2022 to stay away from watching TV, focus on their studies, and to listen to their teachers. Staying in the province, the department held a workshop on the learner pregnancy policy. The Basic Education Department's policy on the prevention and management of learner pregnancy in schools provides guidance on the reduction of unintended pregnancies, management of their pre- and postnatal consequences, limitation of associated stigma and discrimination against affected learners, and importantly, the retention of and re-enrollment of affected learners in school. It also commits the DBE and other role players to providing comprehensive sexuality education as a crucial part of school curricula to safeguard learners' sexual and reproductive health rights. The department has noted that implementing this policy will be different for each province because of the dynamics found in each province, but there are various provisions that are contained within the policy.
The first one is prevention. There are actually 5 provisions. There's actually enabling the environment, but I don't want to focus on that more, as much as it is critical so that that environment is supportive. But I do want to focus more on prevention, because as much as we have policies that speak to prevention, but as a department, we don't want our learners to be pregnant. So preventions become really critical. But currently, we are also looking at the management element of the policy, which also is touched into provisions where we actually discussing the care counseling and support, and we're discussing impact mitigation. With the care counseling and support, we're actually trying to address the fact that the learner is pregnant, and while he is pregnant, who actually impregnated the learner, and where is that person? Because if that person is a member of the school, then the disciplinary procedures need to actually be followed. And if that person is actually outside the school environment but is also older, and that means that we need to actually report that following the protocols of the department, the protocols that we have on the reporting and managing of sexual abuse and harassment. And then the last one is actually impact mitigation. It's the 4th one, but I'm saying it's the last one because it talks about how do we actually ensure that learners retained in the schooling environment. And the 5th one is the management and coordination of the policy. The reason why I focused on the 3, it's because that's where we actually respond in terms of managing the pregnancy, and I want us to really prevent teenage pregnancy or learner pregnancy in our context.
The KZN Education Department says teenage or learner pregnancies have had a negative impact on the learning and teaching of those who do fall pregnant.
We've seen learner dropouts as a result of that. We've seen that the other learners a number of learners have experienced medical complications. And for example, if you can see from State SA for 2019 and 2020, it does indicate that there is an increase in the teenagers giving birth. For example, currently the number is sitting in 83,000 in the country, and within that 18,500 is from KZN, which is a huge number. And we can see that it affects our learners in terms of continuing with their curriculum, in terms of dealing. So it affects them and they drop out, and obviously that will affect not them but the community and the people, the families that are coming from.
The policy on learner pregnancy will assist in addressing some of the social ills faced by learners who fall pregnant while in school.
It talks about the current challenges, as we were indicating. It also proposes some of the interventions that the province, or rather the country, they need to put in place. So I believe, because there are other programs that the department is implementing, but the policy adds more, strengthen those interventions and programs, and we believe that the police will assist in reducing. And it talks the issues of poverty as well, on how to deal with that, the issues of peer pressure, because one of the contributing factors is poverty, peer pressure, and negative content that our learners they get from social media and others. And the policy addresses a majority of that. So we believe that there is going to be an improvement, and there is a team here led by DBE which is giving us and guiding us on how to improve the situation.
Stay tuned. After the break, we hear from the Education and General Assistants in Mpumalanga on their experience as being part of the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative.
The Presidential Youth Employment Initiative, or PYEI in basic education, aims to create opportunities of employment in our schools and to provide support to workers. The education assistants support teachers with administrative tasks, classroom management, sports coaching, and cultural activities, while the general school assistants help with maintenance, cleaning, vegetable gardens, and general administration. During the first phase in 2019-2020, the Western Cape employed over 19,000 teacher and general assistants to ensure continued teaching and learning in a safe environment. In 2021 and 2022, during the second phase, over 20,000 teacher and general assistants are employed. In addition to the valuable work experience gained at the school, the assistants receive training in various fields. The education sector welcomes this initiative. It allows our teachers to focus on their main duty of teaching, while assistants engage in supportive roles.
Young people who were placed in schools as education or general assistants in Mpumalanga say the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative has been beneficial to them. Phase 4 of the initiative in the basic education sector will begin in February next year. The Basic Education Department has reiterated the call for young people part of the PYEI in the sector to take up job opportunities available to them. This third phase of the project comes to an end on the 31st of August 2022. To date, the PYEI in the basic education sector has created more than 830,000 employment opportunities. The general and education assistants have urged the department not to terminate their contracts as the learners are familiar now with them.
Being part of this program, I've gained a lot of interest in becoming a teacher one day. Being with the children, the skills that I've gained, it helped me develop the love that I have for children now. So we started in November on phase 2. Now we're on phase 3. Since phase 3 is ending on the 31st of August. Sadly, our contract is ending, but with the experience that I had being part of this program, it was great. You know, we learned a lot from Department of Education, and we are very grateful that we were part of this program. And so far, the program has been uplifting to the youth. It has given us courage to at least gain something from what we've learned with working with the children each and every day.
They've also shared some advice for those who will be placed in schools next year.
The advice I can give them is to be humble, bahloniphe, nje balalele imithetho, yabona obey, it's not always a bad thing. Yeah, bafunze ukuvana nebantu, good communication skills, yabo nje ube open, ube free, and also ne attitude to bantwana. Yabona ungafuna ukungena kule program le if nabe ukuthi bantwana awubathandi vele umsebenzi utoba difficult for wena. But if nabe ukuthi bantwana yabathanda, it's going to be very much easier, because in most cases lo sikubona la esikoleni nasekhaya la kuyabona, so kuba simple ukuthi uconnect athekhaya.
And then the children as well, the approach must be different. They're not the same, remember? Yeah. They are different children. No, and you don't just mock a child in jail. Come and then you just mock them out of the blue. No, you get to know the person, and then you understand the situation where they're coming from, and that's where the love begins.
Yeah, I would say they must treat them equal.
Yes, thank you.
Quality first. They must treat them equal. They mustn't have a favorite who would say, oh, this is a top student, I must concentrate to them. Yeah, they must treat them equal. That's all I can say.
That's how we end this bulletin this week on Channel 122 on OpenView and of course on YouTube. But before we go, the Basic Education Department is appealing to parents to support learners for better outcomes. The only way for everything to work smoothly is for parents and teachers to work together, especially with the sector still recovering from the learning losses brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for watching.